I'm back from my holiday. Yeah, Greece was amazing. I got a viral disease, which wasn't that amazing because I couldn't really walk. It's called a hand, foot, mouth disease. Feel free to Google it if you're curious. But yeah, I'm all healed up now and I'm back. And ZONEofTECH News is also back with episode number 22. So lots of interesting topics that I want to cover in this episode. The 2019 iPhone leaks, a lot of updates on that. Pixel 4 got leaked again. My impressions on the Note 10 Plus because I finally have it. Macbook Pro got banned and a few updates on IFA 2019. So yeah, get your snacks ready and here's everything you need to know. If you want to browse privately and securely, check out Private Internet Access. PIA works on Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, as well as even Linux, and you'll not only be safe when browsing online, but you'll also get access to websites such as Netflix US from outside the US and get access to more movies and more features. Use the link below to sign up for as little as $3.5 a month. Okay, so starting off with the iPhone leaks, I feel like whenever I'm away, that's when all the major leaks happen, but yeah, in terms of the iPhone 11, we've had loads of really interesting leaks recently. For example, Mobile Fun UK, which is a website that sells cases and accessories for phones, now lists full iPhone 11 cases on their website. And most of these are actually from Alexar, which is a manufacturer that pretty much always releases their cases way ahead of a smartphone release. Most likely to draw attention to their products, but I'm pretty sure that smartphone manufacturers aren't really happy with this. So here we have different styles of cases for the iPhone 11, and all of them show that triple lens camera module, that squared off camera module that we've seen before. However, 3 of them have a very interesting feature. They have what looks to be a pouch or a holder for the Apple Pencil. However, this actually looks to be a brand new Apple Pencil because it is smaller than the Apple Pencil that we have on the iPad Pros now. So it seems to be an Apple Pencil built specifically for the iPhone 11. And we have seen some reports in the past that claim that the 2019 iPhones will indeed support the Apple Pencil. So do let me know in the comments, what do you think about having an Apple Pencil on an iPhone? That would be something similar to the experience that we get on a Samsung Galaxy Note. However, on the Note, the S Pen goes inside the actual phone. On the iPhone, since the Alexar cases do have that pouch, this basically implies that the pencil would not be stored inside the iPhone or even magnetically attached to the iPhone. Yeah, instead you will have to carry it around with you whenever you travel and whenever you want to use it. Now, you might have noticed something interesting and strange when it comes to Alexar's cases. So they don't call the iPhones the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 11 2019 or the iPhone 2019, but instead the iPhone 11 Pro. Also, another case manufacturer, ESR, has had their cases for the 2019 iPhones leaked, and they also list the names for all of them in the top right. And the names will probably be iPhone 11 for the iPhone 11R, iPhone 11 Pro for the regular iPhone 11, and then iPhone 11 Pro Max. Such a great name for the iPhone 11 Max. Also, Twitter user CoinX, who doesn't really post a lot, but when he does, he posts leaks that have turned out to be 100% accurate after a few weeks or months, tweeted Pro for the iPhone, crazy naming schemes over the past few years. So it seems like there will definitely be an iPhone called Pro this year, and from the looks of it, the lineup would indeed be iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, and then iPhone 11 Pro Max. Pro Max is honestly the worst name that I've heard for any phone. So at least when it comes to, flagship phones. So I think that what Apple should do is have the lineup as iPhone, which would be the 5.8-inch variant, iPhone Pro as the highest end 6.5-inch variant, and then iPhone Lite for the 6.1-inch R model. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any good ideas for the naming scheme yourself. And then a pretty lengthy report coming from Bloomberg illustrates some more details that Mark Gurman and Debbie Wu have had on the 2019 iPhones alongside their own predictions. So this report does confirm that smart frame feature that we've seen reported before, where the iPhone actually takes multiple photos with both the main and the third wide-angle module, even when you're not actually using that third wide-angle module. And then you'll be able to zoom out of a picture again, even if you haven't taken it with a wide-angle lens, and it will also add the people that got cut out of the frame back in the shot. So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. And then Bloomberg's report also claims that the iPhones will be able to shoot higher resolution pictures, rivaling even some traditional DSLR cameras. The video recording capabilities are said to be greatly upgraded, getting them close to professional video cameras, again according to Bloomberg. And it seems like Apple has also developed a feature that allows you to retouch and apply effects to the video while that's being recorded, rather than, before or after. Then reverse wireless charging has been confirmed as well. And interesting enough, Bloomberg does report a few unique things about these new iPhones. For example, it will have a brand new shatter-resistant glass. Now, personally, I'm really skeptical about that because, the iPhone XS's, they had the world's most durable glass in a smartphone, yet my iPhone shattered when it fell from my couch. Yeah. Then the water resistance is also said to be greatly improved to allow submersion far longer than the current 30-minute rating. Multi-angle Face ID would also be added so that the iPhones can actually be unlocked when they're sitting flat on the table, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, quite a lot of unique features that we haven't seen leaked before are coming to this year's iPhones. Next up, the Pixel 4 has been leaked again. XDA developers have gotten their hands on 2 images of the Pixel 4, and they actually look quite legit. And by the way, the legitimacy of these has also been confirmed by multiple sources, so here it is, the first good look at the Pixel 4 in the wild. And it's pretty much exactly as to how Google has already teased it. So we have that iPhone 11-like squared-off camera module on the back. We have that single tone back this time, by the way, so no more dual tone, unfortunately, which I actually think was one of the best and most unique things about a Pixel phone, so yeah, I'm quite sad to see that gone. And yes, we no longer have the notch, but we do have a fairly thick forehead, as well as a noticeable chin. But just like we've seen in Google's own teaser, the reason for that thick forehead is that it actually has a lot of sensors inside. So we have a dot projector, we have not 1, but 2 infrared sensors for face unlock, alongside a flood illuminator and the brand new Cell-Light radar chip that allows you to control the Pixel 4 by using air gestures, and it also automatically unlocks once your face gets close to the phone. So yes, Google is indeed packing a ton of tech inside the forehead, even more so than Apple. And I'm really looking forward to all of that. Also, 95 Google reports that the Pixel 4 will feature a 90Hz refresh rate panel, so same refresh rate as on the OnePlus 7 Pro, and the 7 Pro was already the most fluid and the fastest phone that I've ever used. So the Pixel 4 should be, and hopefully will be, very similar to that. Now, my only concern is that the same report from 95 Google claims that a Pixel 4 will only have 6 GB of RAM, which is more than, you know, the 4 GB that we have on the Pixel 3, but still on the low end for a 2019 Android flagship. The Galaxy Note 10, for example, has 12 GB of RAM, the 10 Plus. The S10 Plus has 8 GB, the 7 Pro can have up to 12 GB of RAM, so yeah, 6 GB in 2019 on a flagship Android smartphone is quite disappointing, especially when you remember all the RAM management issues that the Pixel 3s have had. Also, the CPU is rumored to be the Snapdragon 855 and not the 855 Plus, which is, again, a bit of a disappointment considering that the 855 Plus literally just came out. And the 865 would be out around January or so, so when a Pixel 4 comes out, it will be running an almost 1-year-old processor by then. So yeah, spec-wise, the Pixel 4 isn't looking that impressive at all. And same goes for design-wise, but feature-wise, this should be a pretty unique device. Also, we are getting a dual camera module finally on the Pixel. We've only had single camera modules before on Pixel phones, so that's great. However, some reports are saying that a second module would actually be a telephoto lens rather than a wide-angle lens, which is really weird, and personally I don't believe that to be the case, just because Google can already do a very good digital zoom with their super res zoom function that uses machine learning and the gyroscope to enhance the image, and to be honest, in most cases it looks very similar to a telephoto module. The only thing that cannot be done through software is that wide-angle shot. You need a wide-angle lens in order to do that. And now let's talk about the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Yes, I finally got my hands on the Note 10 Plus. Really late. So yeah, Samsung didn't invite me to the event, unfortunately, and they haven't given me a review unit either, so I bought one myself and this got delayed like heavily, so yeah, I only got it this week, which is I think 3 weeks later than everyone else. But yeah, we will be doing a full review with my final thoughts on the Note 10. This is my main device right now, by the way. But yeah, unless you guys want to see some specific Note 10 coverage, we won't be doing any other Note 10 videos, just because, you know, 1, this is already really late, and 2, people don't really seem that interested in the Note 10. But I still want to give you guys my quick first impressions on the Note 10, and I honestly love it. It's actually less comfortable than my S10 Plus was, which was interesting because I thought the models were more comfortable than the S10 Plus, but you know, using it for a long period of time, it's actually less comfortable than the S10 Plus. However, I absolutely love this massive 6.8-inch display. I also love how fast and fluid this thing is. It's like really fast, considerably faster than my S10 Plus. This is thanks to the faster Exynos 9825 processor versus the 9820 inside the S10, and 12 GB of RAM compared to 8 GB of RAM. Now, fluidity-wise and speed-wise, it's still not as good as the OnePlus 7 Pro, but it's very close. And even when it comes to the camera, it's 95% the same as the S10 Plus. And I've actually used the S Pen a few times, but not enough for me to warrant a Note 10 just for the S Pen. Oh, and the camera cutout in the middle is not as intrusive as I expected. You literally forget about it in a few minutes. But yeah, let me know in the comments your own thoughts on the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. Okay, so now I got 2 more topics that I want to cover. So first, some of you might have heard or read some headlines that the MacBook Pros are banned from certain airlines, which is actually true. So the way this happened is that some 15-inch MacBook Pros 2015 actually caught fire, and Apple has issued a battery replacement program and a recall for some of those 15-inch 2015 MacBook Pros. Not all of them, just a few. You can actually check if your MacBook Pro is affected by using the link below. But honestly, this has been blown out of proportion to the point where instead of Airlines banning the 15-inch 2015 MacBook Pro, some have now banned all MacBook Pros. So you can still carry it in your backpack and the cabin luggage, but you won't be able to have it in that check-in luggage. But yes, if you have a 15-inch 2015 MacBook Pro, please use that link below, input your serial number, and get your battery replaced, because it's free to do that. And you'll not only extend the battery life itself, but you'll also keep yourself and everyone else around you safe. And finally, I'm actually going to IFA this year. Yes, this will be my first IFA ever, and I'm really excited for it. I'm leaving next week, so I'll be there from the 3rd to the 6th. So yeah, technically I'll be there in Berlin before IFA starts. I'm going with Intel, and I'll be there at some tech conferences and events there, so yeah, it should be really fun. So if you're around IFA and Berlin, let me know, and maybe we can do a quick meetup. If not, maybe I'll bump into some of you at IFA. And if there are any creators going that I'm not aware of, feel free to message me on Twitter or Instagram DM. I would love to meet you. So yeah, this has been pretty much everything that I wanted to cover in this episode of ZONEofTECH News. Definitely subscribe if you want to see more ZONEofTECH News episodes like this one. And let me know in the comments, I don't know, what videos you want to see next week, because we have a few interesting ones coming out. And if there's anything that you want to see specifically, let me know in the comments. But yeah, this has been pretty much it. Give us a like if you enjoyed it to let me know. I'm Daniel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.